Ah, America, land of the free, home of the brave, and apparently also the land of increasingly frequent moving vans. That's right, folks, we're diving headfirst into the great American exodus. Forget manifest destiny, this is manifest departure. And some states are seeing their populations bolt faster than a politician from a follow-up question. Join us as we unpack the top 10 states Americans are fleeing in 2024 and try to figure out if it's them or actually us. Spoiler alert, it's probably them. With rising costs, changing job markets, and shifting climates, people are on the move. So pack your bags and let's hit the road to discover where everyone's heading and why. First up, the Golden State, or as it's increasingly known, the Goodbye State. California, with its beautiful beaches, perfect weather, and a cost of living that makes you weep openly into your avocado toast, tops our list. Why are people fleeing? Let's just say living out a Beach Boys song gets a lot less appealing when you're facing wildfires, drought, and the crushing realization that your dreams are about as affordable as a beachfront bungalow. The housing market is another major factor. With median home prices soaring above $800,000, many find it impossible to buy a home. Add to that the notorious traffic and urban sprawl, and it's no wonder people are packing up. In fact, recent statistics show that California has seen a net loss of over 500,000 residents in the past few years. High taxes and the overall cost of living continue to drive people away, making it one of the top states Americans are fleeing in 2024. Next up, the city that never sleeps, because it's too busy working 3 jobs to afford rent. That's right, it's New York. The Big Apple, once a beacon of opportunity, is now a cautionary tale about what happens when you cram too many dreams, and even more rats, into one overpriced island. High taxes, a sky-high cost of living, and the ever-present aroma of, shall we say, urban decay, have many New Yorkers saying fugged about it and heading for greener, cheaper pastures. Take Jane, a single mother of 2, who had to move to New Jersey just to find an affordable place to live. Or consider Mark, a young professional who now works remotely from Florida because he couldn't keep up with the rent hikes. These stories are becoming all too common as the cost of living in New York continues to soar, pushing even the most die-hard city lovers to seek refuge elsewhere. Well, folks, we're moving on from the coasts and heading to the Midwest, where in Illinois, things are about as fun as a deep dish pizza with no cheese. The state's been grappling with some serious economic woes, and let's just say their budget looks like it was balanced by a toddler with a fistful of crayons. And then there's the political climate, which makes the weather in Chicago look positively balmy. It's enough to make anyone pack their bags and say, "See ya, wouldn't want to be ya." But let's dive deeper into the economic challenges. Illinois has one of the highest property tax rates in the nation, and many businesses are closing their doors due to the financial strain. Residents are also feeling the pinch with rising taxes and cost of living. The state debt continues to climb, making it harder for Illinois to recover. All these factors combined are driving people to seek greener pastures elsewhere. Next up, we're crossing state lines, and probably paying a toll to do it, to New Jersey, a state best known for being the backdrop for every mobster movie ever. But hey, at least they have good diners, right? Unfortunately, those diners might be all you can afford because the cost of living here is sky high. We're talking property taxes that would make your hair stand on end, even if it's already standing on end from the hairspray used by the cast of Jersey Shore. Financial instability is a major issue here, with many residents struggling to make ends meet. The state has one of the highest foreclosure rates in the country, leaving many families without homes. High taxes and the cost of living are driving people out, and it's not just property taxes. Many are finding it hard to afford basic necessities, leading to increased reliance on food banks and social services. So unless you've got a Sopranos-sized pile of cash, you might want to keep driving. Hold on to your mittens, folks, because we're heading north to Michigan, a state shaped like a hand that's desperately trying to flag down economic opportunity. While some parts of Michigan are doing okay, others have been hit hard by declining industries. And then there's the weather. Look, I get it, some people love a good snowstorm. But when you're dealing with 6 months of winter, even the hardiest Midwesterner starts to dream of palm trees. And it's not just Michigan. Upstate New York faces similar challenges with harsh winters and economic struggles. The cold economy and weather make it tough to thrive. Ohio also battles the same issues with industries declining and winters dragging on. It's no wonder people are looking for warmer, more prosperous places to live. Ah, Louisiana, home of Mardi Gras, gumbo, and a truly horrifying number of hurricanes. Look, I'm sure those shrimp po' boys are delicious, but are they worth risking life and limb every hurricane season? Because thanks to climate change, those hurricanes are getting stronger and wetter. And let's not forget about the state's economic woes, which are about as appealing as a bathtub full of crawfish after a week without power. It's enough to make anyone pack their bags and say, au revoir, but seriously, I'm out. And it's not just hurricanes. Droughts are also becoming more frequent. Water scarcity is hitting hard, affecting both agriculture and daily life. Coastal erosion is another major issue, with wetlands disappearing at an alarming rate. Communities are trying to combat these water issues, but it's an uphill battle. All these factors combined make it clear why so many are choosing to leave Louisiana. Ohio, the Buckeye State, once a powerhouse of industry, it's now, well, it's trying to reinvent itself. The problem is reinventing yourself is a lot harder when you're struggling with population loss, opioid addiction, and the slow, painful death of your manufacturing base. The Rust Belt, which includes states like Pennsylvania and Michigan, has seen a similar fate. Once thriving with steel mills and auto factories, these areas now face economic decline. Detroit, once the heart of the American auto industry, is now a symbol of urban decay and economic hardship. It's enough to make you want to climb inside a giant fiberglass cow and float away down the Ohio River, which, come to think of it, might actually be a viable exit strategy at this point. Pennsylvania, the Keystone State, home of the Liberty Bell and a whole lot of crumbling bridges. Seriously, Pennsylvania's infrastructure is about as stable as a Jenga tower built by a caffeinated squirrel. Add to that a shrinking population, particularly in rural areas, and you've got a recipe for, well, not exactly a roaring good time. Look, I'm sure Pennsylvania has its charms, but right now it seems like the state bird should be a giant question mark made of potholes. And it's not just the bridges. The roads are riddled with potholes, causing daily headaches for commuters. Water main breaks are a common sight, disrupting daily life and causing significant damage. Public transportation is outdated, making it difficult for residents to rely on it for their daily commutes. Even schools are not spared, with many facing issues like leaking roofs and outdated facilities. All these factors contribute to a growing sense of frustration and a desire to seek better opportunities elsewhere. And here we are at number 9, Connecticut. You know, the state that's shaped like a saucepan, except instead of delicious soup, it's filled with anxieties about high property taxes and the ever-rising cost of living. Look, Connecticut has its charms, beautiful fall foliage, quaint towns, but those charms don't pay the bills. Or the property taxes, which, let's be honest, are higher than a Yale tuition in some places. So, people are packing up their sweaters and heading for greener or at least cheaper pastures. Can you blame them? It's hard to enjoy a bowl of New England clam chowder when you're worried about affording the crackers. Small businesses are struggling too, with many unable to keep up with the high operational costs. Residents often discuss the economic challenges, from job market instability to the lack of affordable housing. Empty storefronts are becoming a common sight, reflecting the economic strain on local communities. All these factors contribute to the exodus, as more and more people decide to leave Connecticut in search of better opportunities elsewhere. At number 10, we've got Alaska, the last frontier. Also, for many, the last place they want to be. Now, I'm not saying Alaska isn't beautiful. It is. Stunning mountains, glaciers, wildlife you can't find anywhere else. But it's also, well, Alaska. It's freezing, it's dark half the year, and the job market can be as unforgiving as the winters. Plus, if you want a decent bagel, you're looking at a plane ticket and a 3-hour flight. Look, I admire anyone who can hack it in Alaska, but I also completely understand why people are trading their snow boots for flip-flops and, sunlight. Many families have shared stories of leaving behind the harsh winters for warmer climates. One family mentioned how they couldn't handle the long, dark winters anymore. Another couple moved to be closer to family and enjoy more outdoor activities year-round. So, while Alaska has its charm, it's clear why some are saying, see you later, not, well, maybe never. So, there you have it, the top 10 states Americans are ditching faster than a bad Tinder date. Now this isn't to say these states are beyond saving, every place has its pros and cons. But until these states address their issues, don't be surprised to see those moving trucks headed for the border, and possibly straight to therapy after encountering the housing market in their new state. But hey, that's a whole other video, isn't it? Remember, moving is a big decision, and it's important to weigh all your options. Here's to new beginnings and brighter futures. Safe travels.